Happy birthday!
Frosty the Snowman was a
The story of the Phantom Snowy Man began about 10 years ago. It was a few days after New Year's, and I was in the process of putting away all the Christmas display that I had put out that year. And doing so, I happened to find this large, older wooden snowman that somebody had propped up against one of the trees. And I thought, well, must be some of the youngsters in the neighborhood playing a prank on someone, and stuck it in my yard. So I proceeded to go ahead and put away the Christmas displays that I normally put out. And I took that snowman and popped it up by the mailbox, thinking that the owner might see it and claim it and take it on back. Well, after 2 weeks almost passed, it was still sitting there. No one bothered to claim it. So I decided to just go ahead and put it in the basement with the other Christmas decorations. And there it sat for the rest of the year. Well, along come Thanksgiving, when I normally start putting out my annual Christmas displays, which consist of 12, 13, 14 different snowmen, which I collect over the years. And it all began with one that I had been putting out for the last 25 years. But anyway, I saw this and decided to go ahead and add it to my collection. So I gave it a new paint job and dressed it up. It was in very sad shape, and did some repairs on it, and placed it out there with the rest of my Christmas display. And after 3-4 days passed, I happened to be coming up the driveway, and I looked over and saw there was a envelope, small white envelope, attached to the snowman that I had found the year before. And I kind of chuckled, and here the envelope consists of all kind of candy canes and little Christmas decoration and little snowmen on it. And so I brought it in the house and said to my wife, someone left us a card attached to the snowman out there. So after opening it up and seeing what it consists of, which was a Christmas card of a snowman, and it read as follows: I just love my new look. I hardly recognize myself. It looks as though the years have just melted away. You must have seen Queer Eye for the Snow Guy. Well, I didn't understand what that meant, but anyway, and it goes on to say, I do make an excellent snow cream parlay. And it goes on to say, thanks again for my new makeover. You did a wonderful job. Signed, sincerely, Sammy the Snowman. My wife Carol and I both got a big laugh at the card, and we were trying to figure out who could have possibly left it there. Well, neither one of us had an answer, and we just said, well, it could be anybody. After giving it some thought, I said to my wife, it has to be the previous owner of the snowman that I put out there. And I said, I wonder why they didn't come to the door and let us know it was theirs or claim it or whatever, but they didn't seem to care, and that was that. Before I continue the story of Sammy the Snowman, I should give you some background of my annual Christmas display, which consists of nothing but a collection of snowmen that I have gathered or made over the past 20-some years. And it all started back with my main star, the highlight of the Christmas display, which I put out every year, which is a 3-foot styrofoam snowman with a very, very happy face, and has a pair of skates on it and it to it over the years, and it just constantly, and the people in my neighborhood have over the years called it Frosty. I once had a little boy knock on my door just prior to Thanksgiving and asked when was Frosty coming out. I also had a neighbor or two, when we were ill with the flu, one called us and said how come the Christmas display was out and where was Frosty. So the neighborhood over the years got to expect my Christmas display. In fact, every year I say it would be the last year that I was going to do it, and then someone would bring it up, and being vain as I am, I go ahead and put it out one more year. But anyway, as I said, there is a collection of snow characters, snowman characters. Each year I try to find a new one or something to add to the collection, and to try to change the arrangement in the yard every year so it has a little bit of a different look or a different theme of some sort. And then I have to, a lot of times, give them all repairs or paint jobs again before I put them back out because of the following year, depending on what the weather might have been. But anyway, to get back to Sammy the Snowman, or what we now call the Phantom Snowy Man, it continued on again, just that was that after that particular incident, finding that particular Christmas card on there, and the Christmas holidays came and passed, and another year went by, and we again went with our annual putting out the snow people and whatnot, and now it's a year right at the turn of the century, 2000, and we put them out, and wasn't before long I had to find another Christmas card attached to Sammy the Snowman. And the family and I, we all got a big chuckle on it. We began to wonder, who could this person be? Who is coming? When are they coming into the yard and attaching this Christmas card to the snowman without ever being seen? So another year passed, and we go on, and the third year comes about, and there's another Christmas card. And in fact, all last three years, they're identical Christmas cards. Like someone had a little box, and each year there would be a different saying in them, and I would have to go back and find them to relate what they wrote on each card, which I will do so somewhere along the story here. But anyway, It got a little bit more interest because the incident keeps reoccurring. It's we're now going into this coming holiday will be the 11th year, and over the past 10 years, every year there's been cars attached to the snowman. And again, after 10 years of hide and seek, I still have no idea of who the mystery snowy man can be. I do suspect it's an older woman by some of the phraseology that she uses in the Christmas cards. And you can determine that yourself when I get around to reading each and every one in the story.
Happy birthday!
Frosty the snowman was a jolly happy soul, with a corncob pipe and a button nose and 2 eyes made out of coal.
Frosty the snowman, it's a fairy tale they say. He was made of snow, but the children know how he came to life one day.
There must have been some magic in that old silk hat they found. Oh, when they placed it on his head, he began to dance around.
Frosty the snowman was alive as he could be, and the children say he could laugh and play just the same as you and me. Frosty the snowman knew the sun was hot that day, so he said, let's run and we'll have some fun now before I melt away.
Down to the village with a broomstick in his hand, running here and there all around the square, saying, catch me if you can.